Butter and salt in tea may challenge the standard concept of tea for many, but for Tibetans, this is how the ancient staple beverage of Tibet is made. It's also enjoyed by many in the Himalayan countries of Bhutan, parts of India and Nepal, by ethnic groups that share common ancestral roots with Tibetans. This video is about a beloved Pocha. Dashidele, welcome to my channel Himalayan Dumplings. If you're new to my channel, my name is Kiki and I share Tibetan recipes both old and new. I do share my recipes in English with the hopes that non-Tibetans around the world can also easily understand and appreciate our beautiful Tibetan cuisine and culinary heritage. In today's video, I'm going to show you how to make the famous Tibetan butter tea that we call Pocha in Tibetan. I'll show you how to make both the traditional way as well as the contemporary way so you can have some delicious Pocha at home. So let's get started. To begin, I'm going to show you the traditional way to make Pocha. This is a fermented Tibetan tea, typically compressed in brick form. Using your hands, break off some tea just like I'm showing here. Go ahead and sift through the tea and remove any twigs that you might find. And don't worry if you don't have any chapakjung, which is what we call the brick tea in Tibetan, because I will show you the contemporary way to make Pocha without any chapakjung. We start off by brewing our tea, or chaku as we call it in Tibetan. Next, we will bring our tea to a slow boil, which will take roughly about 20 minutes. Next, go ahead and add your salt, and unlike regular black tea, Tibetan tea is actually fairly mild in flavor and taste and does not produce that bitterness that you would get if you were to brew regular black tea for this long. Next, go ahead and strain your tea. What we now have is brewed tea, which we call chaku in Tibetan. If you want a concentrated brew, you would simply brew the tea for longer and then dilute it accordingly when making Pocha. Alright, let's make some Pocha. Add some milk to your strained tea or chaku. Add some butter, which is one of the most important ingredients, along with the salt which we added earlier. I'm adding some water, hot water, to dilute the Pocha a little bit. And since we don't have the traditional wooden tumbler that we would use to churn Pocha, here I'm simply pulling the tea in a similar motion that would occur in a tongmo. It is also common for Tibetan families to use a blender to blend the Pocha, but that is not necessary if you don't want to dirty another dish. In spite of the churning, it is perfectly normal for butter to float to the top, so we simply blow it gently like that, and then you take a sip. And yes, traditionally Pocha is served in bowls. And now for the contemporary way to make Pocha using black tea bags. Lipton brand is quite popular amongst the Tibetan diaspora. I recommend using 2 tea bags for 4 cups of water, so 1:2 ratio, although if you like it stronger, you can add more tea bags. Now bring some cold water to a boil. Add your tea bags only once water has come to a boil. Unlike the Tibetan fermented tea, you should not soak your Lipton tea for more than 4 minutes or it will taste bitter from the tannins that are released at high temperatures or if it's steeped too long. Add your milk, which can be whole milk or also half and half milk, which is quite commonly used amongst Tibetans. Add salt. Don't forget to remove the tea bag so it's not steeped for too long or you will have very, very bitter Pocha. Add your butter, and the final step is to churn. And since we don't have the traditional tumbler, we are going to use the pulling method and pull for a few minutes, just like I am doing here. The whole idea is to mix all the ingredients, especially the butter, properly. And adjust the ingredient portions if you need to. Taste preferences for Pocha, even amongst Tibetans, are quite subjective. So if you want to dilute it further, add some hot water or adjust your salt according to your taste preferences. Basically, I've provided you the basics of making Pocha the contemporary way. And if you visit a Tibetan home, don't be surprised to have your cup of puja constantly refilled, as that is a Tibetan custom. And if you found this video helpful or informative, please give the video a thumbs up and leave your comments below, as I really do enjoy reading them. And of course, subscribe to my channel if you're interested in Tibetan cuisine and culinary heritage. Losar tashidele, tuchena.